All right, so our joke master is going to be delayed. Are you ready, Kim? You ready to give us a joke of the day? This
I am not.
beautiful, not raining day. Tori's just joined us, so maybe he's got a good joke for us.
Yeah, he's been a good joke master in the past.
Yeah, but feel free to step in.
We'll
No
let's
pressure,
just introduce our
on the
role.
spot.
Let's just start off with the role of the table topics. Teresa, our table topics master, would you mind introducing the role and what you're going to have for us today?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. And as the table topics master, I will call upon several members to deliver a 1 to 2 minute impromptu talk. And the table topic is, what can we do as Toastmasters in engaging with our audience? You could see that you're connecting with your audience and you trigger a memory from your speech. So, what can you do in using your skills as a Toastmaster?
Should be a very interesting topic. Thank you. Yes. We get some advance notice to prepare. Thank you. Contemplative time. Contemplative time. Yeah. Next, I'd like to introduce our grammarian, who's Kathy today. Would you mind sharing your role as a grammarian, Kathy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. The grammarian finds good word usage and also finds a word of the day, which I'm still looking for. I look for word usage that might detract from what you are speaking about. Words such as and, so, or, the purpose of counting the number of distracting words is to bring it to your attention how often you use filler words so that we can be aware. And I'm doing it now. And when we speak, we'll be able to maybe take a pause instead of using a filler word. And I'll bring the word of the day before the rest of the rows are complete. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you, Kathy. You're always filling this role, thankfully, and you do such a great job. We always enjoy your feedback and what you have to share with us. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce the timer. He took our timer role today.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. Timer is, I keep track of each role and report the times. It's been a couple weeks. For speeches, it's 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, you'll get a green. At 6 minutes, you'll get a yellow. And at 7 minutes, you'll get a red. You don't have to stop right on the red. You get 30 seconds. Then you get demerits. For table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, you get a green. A minute and a half, you get a yellow. And at 2 minutes, you get a red. Evaluations are 2 minutes for 2 to 3 minutes for the evaluators of speeches. And that's 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes for those. Is that the only? Is there one more?
That's about it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Buffy.
Thank you.
Nice explanation. Thank you. Finally, our general evaluator, Don, our general evaluator today.
Greetings, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and doesn't happen. I will evaluate each participant on a meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duty. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Don. Circling back, who wants to give a joke? It's between Tori. Tori's got it.
Do it.
Come on up, Tori.
Okay.
What do you got for us today?
I've got a couple. So thank you, Toastmaster. These are interactive. I'll do a couple. What did one ocean say to the other?
I'll see you later.
Anybody else? We're an ocean
Let me wave at you.
Nothing. They just waved.
Oh.
Another one. Have you heard about the guy who stole the calendar? You hear what happened to him?
Mm-mm.
You got 12 months. Let's
Great.
see. What's the opposite of artificial intelligence?
Oh, there's so many choices.
Real
Natural
intelligence.
stupidity.
Oh.
And that's probably, well, one more. Okay. My teachers told me I never amount to anything because I procrastinate too much. But I said, you just wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Those are very good jokes for us. You got a word of the day for us?
Yes, I do. Today's word of the day is, I'll play it again. Appetence, spelled Appetence. Definition: intense desire, strong natural craving, appetite, or instinctive inclination or natural tendency, or a material or chemical attraction of affinity. Example: thus we may perceive that the triunit consisting of perception, appetence, and motion constitutes the celebrated irritability of our author. Or there are no thief, this doesn't make sense to me. There was no thief on the course who did not wait. In hungry appetence, the sportsman's descent from the standard, yet the novice outstripped them all. Last but not least, but know you not that creatures wanting sense by nature have a mutual appetence, and wanting organs to advance a step, moved by love's force onto each other's lap. Oh my gosh. Okay. Appetence, strong craving.
Think of appetite.
Yeah,
It's
I like that better.
They're related. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the part I have appetence for. A speech I heard a rumor about a couple weeks ago that we get to finally hear today. And I would like to call up Teresa, her evaluator, to introduce our next speech.
She's the speaker.
I'm a speaker.
You're the
Mary
speaker.
Ellen's doing.
And who's the first?
Okay.
Kim.
Kim.
Sorry about
Yes.
that. I have such an appetence to hear. I'm just trying to rush through.
What is
Nice.
Good job.
Thank you,
Speaker
Mr.
two.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. I have the privilege and an honor to introduce Brandee Miller for our first speech. She is an avid environmentalist in her career, and she loves talking about bees. I think her speech is going to be about mason bees, and I'd like to invite her up here for a speech. Brandee.
You got to get the technical stuff out.
Oh.
So excited. Well, welcome everyone on this beautiful spring day. You can see outside, lots of things are blooming. It's making me think of all the pollinators out there. Today, I want to talk with you a little bit about mason bees. This is the 5th speech that I've given about mason bees. For some of you, it's your first time you've heard about this. This is the start of my 3rd season raising mason bees, so I've learned a lot. But before we go to the next slide, I'd like to ask all of you, how many species of native pollinators, native bees, do you think we have in Washington State? Just throw a number out there. Guess. Yes.
13.
13?
2.
2? Did I hear something else out there? Some other guesses?
Kathy said-
Well, I saw on the screen, it had 6.
We have over 600 species of native bees in
Wow.
Washington State. Yeah. You think bees, you think, oh, honeybees, bumblebees, maybe a few other ones that you see around, maybe some wasps. So on the screen there, you can see some different groups. There is some overlap between these groups. We have bumblebees, mason bees, which I'll be talking about, masked bees, leafcutter bees, which is one I learned about a few years ago. I was just sitting in my lawn and I saw a bee carrying a piece of greenery and I was like, do we have leafcutter bees? And I Googled it. Sure enough, we have leafcutter bees. The one bee that you guys are most familiar with, though, is probably the honeybee. And of all of those bee species, it's the only non-native bee species that we have in this state, and it's the only one that produces honey. All the rest just produce enough food for the rest of their kin. So how did I get started with mason bees? Well, it was a slow burn. It's a long story. We first bought our house. This is a picture of our house. We first bought it in 2007, so almost 19 years ago. And it's the original siding from 1938, 10-inch cedar shingles. And we had to reside eventually because even cedar doesn't last forever. When we first bought the house that spring, I noticed these blue metallic flies? What were they? I looked closer, they were bees, and they were crawling up under our siding in all these little gaps. And I was like, what are bees? They're living in our siding? That's so cool. Years went by, I didn't think much of it, learned a little bit about what they were. But then in 2022, when we decided to reside our house, that's when I really got into it. And with this slide, what you're seeing is right underneath our window, behind the window, were these mason bee eggs. And what you're seeing is each one of those yellow things is a pollen pack. And what's tucked into it is a single mason bee egg. And then they create cells around that with mud, which is why they're called mason bees. So I saw this all inside of my house and the siding, and I felt terrible. As Kim mentioned, I'm an environmentalist. I work for the Department of Ecology. I love nature. I love animals. So this was a hard thing for me to grasp. What was I going to do? So I learned about mason bees and I started raising mason bees. So let me tell you a little bit about them. They're solitary. Each female is her own queen. My neighbors have bumper crops of cherries and Asian pears and all this stuff. And I think a lot of it had to do with my bees. So they love stone fruits. They're very early. They're also power pollinators. They're 20 times more effective than honeybees. Now, the reason is honeybees, when they go out, they kind of put the pollen on their legs. And you kind of see that with honeybees or with bumblebees, you see the pollen packs. These guys aren't like that. They just get in there and they just get it all over their bellies, all over their face. They're just a mess. And that makes them really powerful pollinators. In fact, I have a little story about that. So I was wearing a black shirt. I was outside and one landed on me and I didn't know it was a bee. And I was like, oh, you know, when an insect lands on you, and it was a mason bee. And there was the outline of the bee with like the pollen on the outside. I was like, oh, but it was fine. It did okay. So they're very gentle. Only the females have stingers and they won't use them. They only use them if like you say you stepped on one or something. So this is my setup at my house. I've got two larger houses and a small house. And the small house on top, I have reeds that you just use once. And on the bottom, you see this slats of wood that come apart. So they're easy to harvest. A little bit about the life cycle. They live for 1 year, but they're only active and flying around for 4 to 6 weeks. That's it. They start as cocoons in early April. And this year, when I put my cocoons out, it was the cutest thing. I put my ear down to where the cocoons were and I could hear munch, 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 munch. They were all munching out of their cocoons. It was so sweet. They mate, and then the females start laying their eggs. The eggs develop through the summer. And then in the fall, you're ready to harvest your cocoons. And this is what it looks like when you're harvesting your cocoons. And what's cool is they're waterproof, so you can wash them and dry them. And then I put them in the refrigerator because through the summer, as they become adults, once they're in their cocoons, then they just go to sleep, which sounds amazing, doesn't it? Like just sleeping or hold the whole winter away. They sleep until summer again, and then you're ready to put them out and start over. And this is just a cute little picture of them poking their heads out in the morning when the sun wakes up. I like to take a flashlight at night and kind of look in there, and I see their little faces or their little butts. They're so cute. And with that, I'm out of time, but I just want to welcome you to look around, enjoy all the pollinators that you see in your yard. If you want to know more, there's some great websites there. Crown Bees is where I got started, where I got my first mason bees in the mail. And I started doing this, and now I have so many bees and so many cocoons that I give them away in the spring, and I've started a bunch of people.
Nice.
So it's a really cool thing. And again, if you're interested, let me know. I can tell you more about it. At the very least, just learn more about your native pollinators. With that, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Brandee. That was great.
Excellent.
I was thinking this when I was really young. You're afraid of bees, right? As little kids, you want to just kill them all, right? They're going to sting me. I'm afraid of them. One of my first jobs out on work on a farm, I was probably 9 or 10. And my first job was getting ready the bee boards for alfalfa fields. And that, because they're light and styrofoam, so I take them out and put them in the house and get them ready, paint them, and get them brand new, paint the farmer's logo on them. So that was my first good experience with bees where I didn't want to kill them. I was like, what do you mean we're saving the bees? And it was explained to me all the work that they do for the alfalfa and making it turn into seed versus going just dying. So very neat. I'm always interested in that from a young age. So thanks for sharing, Brandee.
Yeah.
Next, I would like to call up our next speaker that I'm also a Pintus about. But I'll get it right this time. So I would like to call up our evaluator, Mary Ellen
I need your time.
for our next speech.
My time is, the title is Remembering and Engaging Your Audience.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Ellen. I'm happy to be participating in your meeting today. In the olden days, there was a book, so the evaluator was really evaluating the person on specific skills for that talk. And I understand those are online. So my suggestion is it'd be great if the person who's the speaker would bring that piece of paper with that information on it, so the ill-prepared evaluator would really look good instead of unprepared and stupid. And then so then I can tell, so then I would be, that evaluator is not the only person looking for these particular things, but everybody else can kind of keep that in mind. But we are going to hear from Teresa today, so I'd like to give her a very warm welcome. And she's going to be talking about memories and also get ready for some props.
Thank you very much, my Madam Evaluator. And thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. And I wanted to say that I have an appetence and a passionate desire for creative solutions for people that have mental health issues, traumatic memories, brain trauma, Alzheimer's, dementia. And I've used my skills as an artist and art teacher to work in those areas as an advocate for kids in foster care, teaching with Alzheimer's and dementia. And then as I do a speech or you're in charge, you're conducting a class, there's skills that I started to use as a Toastmaster, and you engage in your audience. And so you notice there's little things as you're engaging with your audience. It's like a light. And your audience, it's like, they have a triggered memory. Or it could be something such as, like a memory. A memory. So that's what we're doing as Toastmasters. We're using those skills, and it's not just one aspect. Or Brandee, for instance, as you're doing your speech, I have mason bees, and I had the same issue that you had. We did siding on our house. And so that's what got me into collecting mason bees. So you triggered a memory for me in your speech as a Toastmaster. So that's one of the things that we really need to do. We're connecting with our audience. And there's many times where I will lose my glasses and I recruit everybody, help me find my glasses, and they're on my head, or a jacket that I've worn and I haven't worn it for maybe a whole winter or maybe the summer. And then I put on that jacket and I go, oh, there's my extra pair of glasses in my pocket, or my second set of keys in my pocket. So those are the little things that we do when we trigger memories, but we're doing that when we do a speech as a Toastmaster. Recently, my father passed away in August, and then I went to his funeral. And as the oldest child, I had to get up and do a speech, and the place was crowded. And as I got done, and everybody came up to me and they go, "Are you a Toastmaster?" And I go, "Well, actually, I got out of Toastmasters, but I thought, it's triggering a memory. Maybe I should return and get back into Toastmasters." So that's one of the things that triggered my memory to get back. And then Kim was sending me emails, and Robin Lee I was connecting with her. She's saying, you got to get back into Toastmasters. So all those connections, all those memories, all those triggers. So I welcome you as fellow Toastmasters to consider, and I want to tie that in with the table topic. What can you do as a Toastmaster? As I gave my speech about my dad, I just said little bits of memories about my dad. It wasn't the eulogy. My youngest brother did the eulogy, but I introduced and used my skills as a Toastmaster, and it set the tone for the rest of the funeral or the memorial. And then each family member, when they got up and spoke, they fulfilled their role. And that's what we do as Toastmasters. We're all fulfilling a role and using those skills. So thank you, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, and our Madam or Mr. Forget what the role is. I forget what the role is. So thank you.
Nice speech. Definitely triggered some great memories. With that, are you just going to roll into table topics for us?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Awesome.
So if we want to start with, he would like to pick a role with that table topics.
I'm doing.
Okay. So Corey,
Do you mind sharing with me what the topic was again?
the topic is using your skills as a Toastmaster to connect with your audience. And it could be anything. Like for me, it could be connecting with my students or connecting with people who attended my father's funeral, and you're using those skills to connect.
Okay. Thank you. Table Topics Master, Toastmasters, hello Toastmasters, honored guest, everybody that's here. So I think in doing just that, I think this skill of being a Toastmaster and speaking to people and connecting for me is really at the core of who it is that I am. Many of you or some of you may or may not know, but my full-time job is in coaching around confidence and social skills. So me having the ability to come up and connect and share about myself and do it in such a way that makes a connection is really important in being able to convey that with somebody and also support them and being able to see how that transformation happens. So it's skills that is not only in how I connect with people, but also how I integrate myself with the rest of the room. So thank you.
And would you like to go,
Yeah,
John?
sure.
Thank you, John.
Yes. Thank you, table topic master. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. As far as you actually trigger a memory when you said about your father's funeral. So just like you're lighting your sound, you kind of trigger a memory in me. I thought about that probably years ago. As the oldest son, will I be able to stand in front of my family and give a eulogy? And I was terrified just thinking about that, and kind of made me want to further prepare myself for situations like that. So that's one of the reasons I actually joined Toastmasters, believe it or not. The other reason is being an advocate for myself and my business, Wild Nectar Juice Smoothie. I thought that I should probably get some more tools in my belt to advocate for myself. So I've always been shy, reserved, and quiet my whole entire life. So this is kind of taking a new direction for me. So that is the reason why I joined Toastmaster and continue to join Toastmasters. So with that, thank you.
So we have room for one more. And
I'll do it.
Mikey, is it Mikey or Mickey? Would you like to take on that role? Mikey.
Sure. I'm Mikey. I normally go to another club Thursdays, but I'm not a member there, so I can rotate. I'm Division F director, but I'd love to talk about it. Toastmasters has been a great thing. I'm glad y'all are proving that people don't need to be more afraid of public speaking than being in a casket, and which is sad to me. But it just reminded me, my friend from church, actually, her brother, or what she calls her brother, his mom died, and I've never met the lady, but they asked me to give her like eulogy basically. And so I'm like, sure, I'll do it. And so I literally went to the church and basically gave a eulogy to a lady that I didn't even know about except for what they told me about. And then I found out that she basically was much like my mom, who is like me, an extrovert. And it's like they're probably dancing and partying in heaven. And I don't know if any of you are Donny Osmond fans, but my mom loved him in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And this guy's mom's wish was that he would sing from that at the funeral, but she didn't. She wouldn't even give the eulogy. But thank you all for your confidence in public speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you for that speech and followed up by the table topics. Nice job. Appreciate that. Triggered a lot of memories for all of us. Thank you. Next, we will move into our evaluator number one. Number one man here today, Kim. I am attentive to hear what he has to say.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I believe that's your new favorite word for the day. I'm not going to try to beat the number of times we just throw one in there for you. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, fellow members and honored guests, and especially Brandee. I'm going to evaluate your speech based on the good, better, best method, and I'll have one or a few items to share about what needs work. I'll start with the needs work one. this is a new one or a newish thing that we do as a club as a hybrid. We don't normally have a lot of presentation through PowerPoint. And the difficulty with that is as you do the PowerPoint presentation, the projector's over there. So what happens is we are all looking at you and then looking at the presentation, and it's very, very difficult. So the only suggestions, and I made the same suggestion last time when someone did this, is I think it's okay, and we're more than happy to help you. Just walk up to there to the stage in the corner, and we'll shift the camera for you so the Zoom folks can view you as well. And so really just instead of being up here, so the one the feedback is just being up there, and we'll help you set that up. So that is just one feedback to provide. And so I'll move on to the good. I thought the topic was very relevant to me because believe it or not, a connection that I had was you mentioned something a couple of weeks ago about bees, and guess what shows up on my TV screen in Disney? Bees. And I'm like, oh, Natural Geographic. So I'm watching Bees and Pollinator, the first 2 seasons. It's actually a new one, 2026 on Disney Plus if you have it. And I'm enthralled with this. And then at the same time, luckily for me, my son was also interested in bees, so we watched it together. So that's the good. And you had a good intro in it. There's a connection there with me, a lot of information. The better, you had beautiful slides, the pictures, and your tones, your pauses. I thought that we were all really, really better at that. And your hand gesture, the little looking in there. I thought that was really cool. Best, I love the data part, information that you provided, and you make it personal because you showed pictures of the windows and the pollen, and it connected with me a lot more because you weren't just sharing facts and factoids about your interests and everything else. You actually had a bee farm or a little one. So the story was great. It connected with me. And then you also had a call to action, which is awesome for us because it wraps up your whole speech. So I appreciate your speech again, Brandee. Thank you very much for sharing about your experience at Mason Bee. And back to you, Mr. Table Topic, Mr. Toastmaster.
Next, I'll call up evaluator number 2, who's probably number 1, also because he was a previous president some time ago of this club.
Yeah.
And also a penchant to hear what you pronunciation.
I have appetite sometimes for being in front of people, so here I am. A volunteer. I volunteered myself. So thank you, Teresa, for doing a talk today. It's always it's great how over time you get to know people just by seeing them for an hour every week. So that is great. Great with Toastmasters. Another way to evaluate, you talked about one method of better, bester. There's another one that's called the sandwich. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go for that method. I enjoyed that you appeared to be more and more comfortable as you were up here and more relaxed. And then when you got to talking about your dad, kind of stepped to the side and you could tell that you were having your own little memory about that. And it seemed like you felt a lot more comfortable. I like that. It was also great that you brought in Brandee's topic so that it showed to the audience that you were paying attention to what your other person was doing and we're just like lost in your own head before she spoke. Since the talk was about props and you had the props, I would have liked it if you would have had your props and you had a lot more drama. So when you brought that thing out and you said, an idea comes, you know,
Oh, okay.
and then the sound. Or have you ever had that experience when somebody says something like, oh, the light went on for that? You know, so like to check. And the other thing I think I would have liked was we hear so much about connection. It's like kind of a soundbite. And I would have liked to know what your meaning of that was for you personally.
Okay.
So that the reason why we have Toastmaster skills is that we connect with people, because if I'm a speaker, I want people to believe me, and I want people to think I'm really passionate about what I'm talking about, or that when I'm talking about something, I actually might know what I'm talking about. And that's what the skills bring. It takes guts to come up in front and talk to people. especially small groups of people that actually know you. So everybody, kudos for doing that. I'm so happy to learn about bees because I have mason bees and I have a question when we're done. And I believe that connection is really, really important, and Toastmasters does provide those skills. And so it would have maybe been helpful too to mention specifically what those things are. But everybody's here to learn. We're all learning at our own pace and our own thing, and that's great. So again, thank you, Teresa, for speaking. Thanks for letting me chat.
Thank you. Very nice evaluation. Adam, this past president of some time ago. When was it? 2000?
They're in the early 2000s.
That's
I don't
awesome.
brag. My brags. I'm a DTM.
Well, thank you for coming back. That's great. Thank you. for coming
I
back.
wanted to just hang out with you guys.
Yay, that's great. Thank you. All right, next we will move on to close out the meeting with our general evaluator. Don.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So I'm going to start the general evaluation process by actually introducing our roles with the reports. So I'm going to start with the timer. Buffy, you want to come up for your report?
Mr. General Evaluator, thank you. Hello, Toastmasters honored guest. Today, our first speech with Brandee was 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Just slipped in under the wire there.
7:26, you said?
7:26, yes. And Kim's evaluation was 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Teresa's talk was just a little short, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And Mary Ellen's evaluation was 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Corey, your table topics was right at 1 minute. Don's table topics was 1 minute 12. And Mikey's table topics was 1 minute 20. Back to you.
All right, next up is the report for our our augmentarian. Kathy?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Starting at the top, I have Corey with good word usage, connection, confidence, transition, words that detract, 3 times and 5 times. Justin wins the grand prize for 5 times using the word of the day. And I believe it was mostly appropriately. Good word usage, sunny bees triggered. Well, sunny bees triggered. Words that detract, and twice, so twice. Actually, so 3 times. I had so in 2 places. And then Kim, good word usage, newish. I hadn't heard that one before. Newish. PowerPoint, suggestion, connection, beautiful slides, data information, part 1, call to action, or something like that I have. And then you had, I don't see a word of the day. Okay, you had words that detract, and I broke up the ands because when Robin was speaking, she kind of asked me to do that. So you have, and I have a lot of so's and
Who's
ands.
the you, Kathy?
Huh?
Still talking to Kim? You're still
Yes.
Kim? Okay, thank you.
Kim. Kim has 4 ands, 1 and so, 1 and then, 3 so's, 2 us. Brandee, lots of colorful usage of words. I did not get them all, but of course, mason bees, leafcutter bees, Department of Ecology, solitary, own queen, that's new, bunker, little butts, chomp, chomp, I think you were like chomp, chomp, power, I think that's power pollinators, cocoon, and harvest. Words that detract. You had your top word was an 9 times, so 6 times, 2 times. Mary Ellen, good word usage, passionate, guts, props, sandwich. I love the sandwich. Words that detract. You had and then twice, and twice, and so once, and 2 times. So 3 times. And one word of the day. Thank you. Oh, let's see. I got everybody there. Teresa, good word usage, advocate, triggered, memory, Alzheimer's, dementia, set the tone, fulfill role. I think that was, yeah. Word of the day, once. Good job. Words that detract were and so, once, and 9 times. No, 14 times. And 14 times. So 7 times. So that was your top word. And it's mine's too. I think that's it. Don, good word usage. I love advocate. Advocate for self. And eulogy. Somebody else said eulogy too. Yeah. Eulogy. Words that detract. 5 times. So 5 times. Once. Twice. Sorry. Twice. I write it several times. Mikey, good word usage. Proving. I think that was, yeah, you said proving. Something about Toastmasters proving. Eulogy, confidence, words that detract. And so once, twice, and once, 3 times. Buffy, you only spoke once, but I got 3 ands. That's my top word of the day for myself and everyone else. And I think I have everyone accounted for that spoke. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Great report. All right, so now for my report for the whole entire meeting. It was a successful meeting. It's always a successful meeting, right? So there's always hiccups in between meetings, but at the end of the day, we learn something new and for the next meeting, right? So so we did start on time or attempted to start on time, which is great. The guests were welcome, even though Mikey came on late, but basically the guest was welcome. I'm not sure it was the protocol of welcoming a guest when they come in a little bit late. I'm not sure about that. So let's see, all the roles were properly introduced. And before the meeting, all the roles were quickly taken up. So that was good job kind of organizing that and good job too, Justin, for stepping up to be Toastmasters at the last minute. That was great. So as far as I'm going to do a quick evaluation, touch on the evaluators for the speakers. Evaluator number 1, Kim. So you had very nice feedback on the tech issues that we had earlier. So that was nice to hear and how to resolve that in the future. You also had a good personal story to align with Brandee's subject. So that was very nice as well. And you used the good, better, best method of evaluating. So that was awesome as well. Evaluator number 2, Mary Ellen. You use a different version, which is the sandwich version. So that's nice to give us an alternate version of the evaluation process. And thank you for also taking on the role during your first visit back here. So that was awesome of you. We really appreciate that. And your evaluation was great. So hopefully we hear from you.
It's
more.
been a minute.
Yeah, you did great.
You haven't lost anything.
All right, so timers as usual was great, pretty easy, right? You're on top of it. And the Algamarian role. Kathy is a good example of how to do the Algamarian role every single time. I'm like impressed. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So you may be too good. So I haven't done that role yet. I'm still intimidated by it. So I think that's my next goal is to try that role. But you did great with your role. And great word of the day. Justin really loved it. So other than that, it was a great meeting. So yeah, let's continue this and do this next time. So with that, I am done with my report.
he's on for that thorough evaluation. I would agree, it's always great to see people come in, volunteer, fill in roles, and everybody does a good job. And even sometimes it's not as smooth, but that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're here to learn. And sometimes you've done it before and you call up the wrong speaker, but that's okay too.
It happens.
So, no need for perfection on anything we do. So I just encourage everybody to volunteer, even if you don't feel ready for it. Because even when you think you're ready, you may not be. So it's all right. But we had a great meeting. And with that, I just want to remind everybody we are having elections coming up, right? We got to switch the roles. And so anybody has any desires to fill any roles, any role. So
I think,
so
yeah, maybe.
Including area director.
area
You
director.
don't know what that is.
We have
Basically, you have your officers in the club, and Robin would gladly not be president, which I'm sure most of you know about. But beyond that is the division level. So I'm in charge of Tacoma area clubs. And then Joyce Vick is actually y'all's division director from Alaska, but within each division is different areas, which is in charge of 4 to 5 clubs. So if you have any desire to grow beyond your club, I know we're all super busy. Please reach out to me or Robin, or it's nice to see Justin and Kathy and new faces as well. And I'm basically going to be rotating between y'all and stately speakers, my previous club. So thanks for joining or letting me join. And as far as introducing me, I only have a half-hour lunch, so that's why I showed my face a half-hour late. But it's good to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for
And
joining.
then also the district conference coming up in 2 weeks. So if you're interested, May 16th, our district is doing their annual conference, and next year we'll be in Alaska. So this will be the time it's close by, and World Championship, the world headquarters is in August, is actually going to be in Vancouver, BC. So also close by. So
Road trip.
right.
Yeah. Oh,
Train.
train.
That would be
Take the
fun.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you don't have a real ID.
Oh.
Passport.
All right.
And then just a quick point, Mikey, I'm the current area director. My area directorship is ending. So if you are interested in being an area director to me, it's really fun if you've got the time, because you get to visit other clubs and see how they do things. So
And she did a great job this year.
I tried. It's a lot of work. But
Thank you, Brandee.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, none of the roles in this club are overwhelming as far as time demands. Very, very much laid back and meeting once a month, casual. So encourage people to volunteer to do that.
I think we'll have to have in the next couple of meetings, I think we'll want to do like the current folks that are in the current roles, talk a little bit about those roles before we go into elections and try to fill roles with new people.
Sounds like some speech opportunities.
Yes, some speech opportunities. Yeah, we try to fit that in to speech opportunities or table topics.
Right.
You know, the speech could be the value of Toastmasters or being an officer in Toastmasters Club. And then each person that has been in a role or is currently in a role can talk about what that is and try to sell it as like, hey, maybe you want to try this. So I
And
think
I'm happy to do table topics or even a presentation in the future. Just let me know and I'll schedule around y'all. But you're in good hands as well.
Great.
Thanks, Mikey.
Thanks, Mikey.
Well, with that, we're about out of time. Does anybody want to take a role for next week? Any speech takers?
Got the agenda open. I can put you in.
Ask our guest how she found this and how she thought of it.
I got invited by you.
Oh.
Good job.
Was it a mass email?
That's how I came back.
I must be on some old mailing list, and it was like for the open house.
Oh,
And I
great.
travel really a lot.
Oh,
You know,
awesome.
I'm on the road a lot. So I just thought it would just be fun to come, because I have a lot of, I learned a lot of things at Toastmasters and made delight.
You lost the sound.
Important and really met so many really cool people and learned so many things about
You want to come back? And join our.
You miss it, don't you? You miss it a lot.
You want to share all the things that you learned and know? We'd love to have you. No pressure.
When can we put you on the panel? Roles? Any roles?
If anybody wants to take a role, I have the agenda open. I
He's
can.
ready. Nice. Look at you.
Table topics.
Table topics. All right.
If nobody has a burning desire to do a speech, I'll do an icebreaker. I'm not ready, but
You'll be ready.
I'll give it a
Be
shot.
confident.
It's how you start.
Yeah,
Icebreakers are great.
they're amazing.
So sweet.
I'll be a grammarian.
Meridian, okay.
I'll be a general evaluator.
I
I'll do Toastmaster.
What was that, Kathy?
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster?
Master, yes.
What were you gonna say?
I can do my icebreaker as well.
Okay.
Two icebreakers. Oh my gosh. I'm so
I
tired.
can evaluate Tori.
Lately just down.
I can.
That was kind of when we had a role, we'd sign up online and it's
great.
pretty tough.
I don't want to
Absolutely.
evaluate Tori because we work together, so it might
Wouldn't be good.
person.
So, table topics,
really-
evaluators.
Yes. So you knew
Him as a GE.
to fulfill your role.
We want to stop the recording.
Scheduled out 8 weeks.
Timer is all we need.
You knew